morning, good afternoon, good evening, good anytime you're watching this. Welcome to episode 10 of the Crochet Cakes podcast. My name is Clarisabeth and I'm your host for this and every other podcast that you may watch on my channel now or in the future. I am Crochet Cakes on Instagram and Ravelry. And now that we've gotten those introductions out of the way, I just want to say a huge thank you to all my subscribers and followers on Instagram. You guys have been giving me so much love these past couple of weeks that it's been overwhelming. I've been overwhelmed with the amount of just love I've been receiving, and my crochet has been receiving. So mentioning love, I should say that we are already at 138 subscribers. Can you guys believe it? 138. Like, I was over the moon thrilled when we reached 100. Now I'm just like, oh, the numbers keep going up. Hi, hello new people. And speaking of 138 subscribers, I thought it was time that I did a 100 subscribers giveaway. We are past 100, but the idea still counts, right? And so the rules for this giveaway will be posted up on Ravelry, the Crochet Cakes podcast Ravelry group, which I should have mentioned. We do have a Ravelry group. So the instructions for the giveaway will be posted there. It'll be something pretty simple. And what I will be giving away is a project bag that I will be making myself. Me, myself, and I will be making you guys a project bag with this cat fabric. Oh. These pretty little cats that are frolicking on the meadow, and I will be lining it with this pretty flower fabric. There may be a couple of bits, bobs, and goodies thrown in, but those will be a surprise. So your main giveaway will be a project bag that I will be sewing up to share with you guys. So it's been 2 weeks since I last talked to you guys, and today is Saturday the 8th of October. Tomorrow is my sister's birthday, so happy birthday, sister, if you're watching this. And so many amazing things happen in these past 2 weeks. One of them was that, well, as I mentioned, we passed 100 subscribers. My Instagram was bombarded with likes and comments because of the marigold sweater, which was featured in the Crochet Girl Gang Instagram group, and I was over the moon thrilled, towards Pluto, just heads over heels thrilled, and I really geeked out about it. Like, I kept showing everybody I knew. I was like, look, the Crochet Girl Gang featured by Marigold Sweater. So thank you to Emma from the Potter and Bloom podcast, which I mentioned in the previous episode. She's also gave me a little shout out in her podcast. So hi, Emma. I hope you're doing well. Lots of people have been reaching out on Ravelry as well, and so I just want to mention off the top of my, well, not off the top of my head, I am going to make sure I say your names correctly. So, we've got 30 members on the Ravelry group, so welcome to Yarn-Hearted, Potter and Bloom, The Cramped Hand, Lacey Harkness, Jules Ruby. Hi Jules. Joanne, sorry. You sent me a message on Ravelry and it was lovely. Lily Rose Petal, who's all the way from Edinburgh, Scotland. Hi. Kitty Scrapper. So just hello to every single member we've got on the Ravelry group. I'm sending you guys so much love right now. You can't possibly imagine, because you guys all made my week with the lovely comments and introducing yourselves on the Ravelry thread, because I love it when people just pop in and say hi and tell me a little bit about themselves. I feel like we're truly connecting and getting to know each other. So that was the first week. After that, and honestly, that's the week I got most of my crafting done, because after that, I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit hectic, like the first week of October. So in addition to, and why was it hectic? Well, in addition to working my full-time job as a librarian, I am a librarian. If anybody can tell what that, where that quote is from, comment down below. I'll give you a hint. Egypt is involved. But anyway, in addition to that, I work with a professor from my alma mater in a research that's been ongoing for exactly 2 years, 1 month, and 18 days. And for this research, I organized an exhibition that was exhibited in Puerto Rico and in Corsica, France, the island of Corsica in France, last summer. And now the research is still ongoing, and we're going to be participating in a symposium the 12th of October. I don't know. I'm really, really nervous about that. But yeah, that's been taking most of my spare time, which has frustrated me a little because I've been wanting to do a lot of crafting. I've got so many ideas in my head for Christmas giveaways and, well, Christmas gifts that I want to give to people. Speaking of Christmas gifts that I want to give to people, I completely forgot to mention that I am hosting a KAL right now, and it's the Gift of Giving Christmas KAL 2016. There's a hashtag on Instagram that I created, which I will put right here so I don't make any mistakes. And you can also join the Ravelry thread and comment on what you want to give to other people during Christmas. Because the idea behind this KAL is to encourage each other to give handmade gifts to, my KAL started the 12th of September. It ends the 5th of January because, as I mentioned in the previous episode, Christmas in Puerto Rico runs until the 6th of January. That's when we celebrate Three Kings Day, El Día de los Reyes Magos, or you might know them as the Three Wise Men. So our Christmas is substantially longer than a typical Christmas in the United States, to put it that way. So yeah, it's just a way of encouraging each other, and you can feel free to double dip in the Bakery Bears Handmade Christmas and in my KAL. I don't mind at all, just as long as you started your project in September. As long as you didn't start it before September, I don't mind if you double dip in other KALs that are going on for Christmas. So I think that is all the channel admin that I've got for you guys today. Yeah. Oh, before we begin, I just wanted to kind of point out what I'm wearing, jewelry wise. This was a, just peeking a little closer so you guys can see. This was a necklace that my mom gave me for my 25th birthday. And it's based on Downton Abbey, the necklace Rose wears in Downton Abbey. And I love this set, the earrings and the bracelet, but and the necklace, but I don't usually use it because I'm afraid that I'm gonna lose an earring or something. So now that I mentioned what I'm wearing, which is essentially a finished object, it just wasn't made by me, I think it is time that we move to finished objects. And I only have one finished object for you guys. As I previously mentioned, crafting has not been something I've been able to do a lot of, and I've been finding it very frustrating. But I did manage to finish the Silent Shawl by Joanne's Grace, and it is made using Little Bean Loves hand-painted yarns in her Dark Mark colorway. And this is Classic Elite Yarns Silky Lace Alpaca. And so it's not blocked yet because it's been raining a lot these past couple of days and I just knew it wasn't going to dry and I didn't want to not show it on this podcast, so I will block it after I finish filming the podcast. And it's actually a pretty good length. I'm just worried about how it's going to be, but you know, if it stretches, it's going to be pretty comfy and cozy. This is in KALs Simple DK base, which is 100% superwash merino, and this one is alpaca and silk. I think I've got the bowl. Aha! I do have the bowl band. Silky lace alpaca. It is 70% alpaca and 30% silk. It's classic elite yarns. And I really enjoyed making this pattern. It was really fast, barring all the frustrations that I had the first time I talked about this shawl. I basically finished this shawl part in one day. The lace took me longer because I'm very impatient and lace takes a while to grow. So yeah, I was very impatient, but I really, really like the way it turned out. And as I think I mentioned in the previous podcast, this will be entered in KALs Halloween Spooky KAL. And you still got time to enter. It runs until the 30th or 31st of October. So just head on over, make something Halloween-y related or Halloween colorways or, you know, just something like that. This Mad Hatter hat that I showed last week, I haven't finished decorating it yet, but it will also be entered in her Spooky KAL. I think I'll have time to finish everything that I want. So that is my finished object, which leads me to talk about another crochet project. This one I think is designed by Kat Golding from the Crochet Project. I want to do her want to start her Yelm shawl. I'll put the name, the pattern, as always, and it will be in this Wiggintree colorway. It's in KALs Looks sock base. It is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. And it's style lot number 1 because as soon as I saw this colorway, I need that in my life. I'm just gonna buy it. Excuse me, credit card, but yes, I am buying more yarn. Seriously, guys, I know you probably feel that I talk a lot about KALs yarns. Hi, Kayleen. But I love her yarn. I do. Every time she puts up a new colorway, I'm like, I need that in my life. I need it. And then, you know, one part of me tells me, what are you gonna do with all that wool? And then the other part is like, it's yarn. Something will get done and it's beautiful. I need it. You shouldn't buy it, but I want it. It's basically, every time I look at yarn, that's what happens. I want it, but I shouldn't. But I need it. But you don't really need to buy it. It's a whole dilemma and conversation between left shoulder Clarissa and right shoulder Clarissa. Also had that dilemma this week because Crafternoon Treats did another shop update, and I really loved her Romney Shetland base. Right shoulder Clarissa won that argument, mostly because, do you guys ever do that? It's like you put it in your cart and you give yourself an hour. If in an hour I can't stop thinking about this yarn, I will buy it when I come back. So I did that. Couldn't stop thinking. It was her Autumn Leaves colorway, very bright, beautiful autumnal colors. And when I went to buy it, it's like, sorry, this is no longer available, so Godspeed to you, yarn. It was very nice knowing you. Too bad I couldn't own you. Anyway, let's get, so enough yarn rambling. Not really, there's never enough yarn ramble if you ask me. But I do believe it's time that I show you what I am hooked on. And what I'm hooked on this week was largely, if not entirely, influenced by the short amount of time I had to work on projects. So I didn't really start any new projects. But I have something that you guys haven't seen in a while living in this. Doggies, 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 doggies. I love dogs. And it's the granny squares for my granny square blanket. I've done a couple more squares. There's this one in lovely yellow. This is, of course, the vintage granny square pattern by Happy Berry Crochet. And I've done this one, which looks like, I haven't hidden my ends, guys, sorry. This looks like ginormous. Look, it's almost the size of my face. It's ginormous, but sorry guys, my camera just keeps cutting off for some reason. So going back to my vintage granny squares, the reason they haven't been sewn together is because, well, joined together, I haven't found a color that I really like that goes with all of the different bits and bobs of color that I've got going on. I wanted a cream color, kind of like this this one, to join them because I don't want white and I don't want black, and I think cream is a good neutral that matches well with all the colors that I've got going on here. I thought I had found it in Walmart, but because the color was named Ecru, when I got home it was just a bit darker than white and I didn't like how it looked with these squares at all. So I quickly cast off that notion about using that color. And I bought 2 rolls. I don't know what I'm going to do because I don't really use white when I crochet. As always, these are the Peaches and Cream brand. It's 100% cotton. Various colorways that I've got there. I know this one is called Rouge. This one is called Taupe. And the other ones, I have no idea what they're called. But I've also got gifted some more yarn, and even though it's not the same brand, I'm using it because it's the same weight. Well, it was supposed to be the same weight, but this one feels a bit on the lighter side, so I think it's like a light worsted, probably closer to a DK weight. And this one is cotton, 100% mercerized cotton by Lion brand in the color Lemon. And I've got 4 of these, so I'm not going to let them go to waste. And I had already started this blanket, even though I was very tempted to just start it all over again, but no, I'm going to stick with it. And it doesn't really look bad when you match it with the other colors. So keep working on these squares. These squares take me between 30 and 45 minutes to crochet, which is probably, you find to be a lot of time for a square. So it kind of led to what's living in this bag. And this is a drawstring bag that I sewed right after filming this podcast on Saturday. So the last podcast, not this one, last one. And it's the first drawstring bag I ever sewed. And I'm super, super happy with it. Just looking at it makes me want to smile, because on the inside, I put these aqua fabric with polka dots, and you've got the little dogs with the bones, and this was just some, what do you call that in English? In Spanish is cinta. This was some cinta. You know, just fabric I had around. So what's living in here are some more squares. These are solid granny squares. So these are solid granny squares, and if you recall these colors, I am using Crafting Room Treats minis that I bought last week. These are dyed with natural dyes, and I'm using them to make these lovely little squares. I mean, look at it. It's so stretchy, and it's got no nylon. That's what amazes me. It's super stretchy, and it's got no nylon. It's her Romney Lamb's Wool Shetland blend, and they still smell fantastic. I'm making a solid granny square pattern, and I'm using a 3.5mm Clover Amour crochet hook to crochet them in. I am not going to be telling you the colors of all these yarns because I noticed in the previous video that I messed up about 50% of the color names that I said. All those names did exist, but they didn't match the color, the yarn I showed you, if that makes sense. So I'm 100% sure this is elderberry. Very beautiful grayish purple. I think this has been one of my favorites. This one is the natural. So it's undyed Romney lamb's wool. Really pretty as well. This one, I know she dyed using tea. Isn't that amazing? She used Yorkshire tea, if I'm not mistaken. It's just amazing. And here as well, it all gets fuzzy. Here, in these three colors, is where it all gets fuzzy. I'm pretty sure this one is dahlia flowers, but I do not know which one is birch and which one is goldenrod. They're all, important thing is, all dyed with natural dyes, which I found fascinating. So I think I've used most of them already. Those are all the colors it brought. So the minis, she said, were 10 meters, which honestly I wasn't sure what that equaled to because I didn't weigh it or anything. But out of each little mini that she said was 10 meters, I've gotten 2 squares, 2 whole squares out of them. And I've got like this much left over. So I didn't know if to attempt to make another square. So I could probably make 4 little small squares and put those in the center and then the bigger squares all around. Or my original idea was to start a square with the different colors put together. So just make like a Franken square basically. But I'm really enjoying this yarn blend. And she said it was tough. Not tough, but she said it was rougher than merino. And that's true, it is rougher than merino. Like this one feels like a cuddle, like a warm, fluffy cuddle. And this one just feels like a warm security blanket. I don't feel it itchy at all. Like I said previously, mohair is my definition of itchiness. It's mohair, as soon as I put it next to my skin, I'm just like, get it off, get it off, get it off. This, it's a bit scratchy, but it's not something that I'm just gonna get it off as soon as I put it on. So these, oh, I didn't say what these will be. I'm not randomly crocheting squares just for the heck of crocheting squares, even though there's nothing wrong with doing that. Like seriously, I just saw a book the other day that was 365 days of granny square. I thought that was awesome because you could, by the end of the year, literally have a blanket made. And it was awesome. But I'm really enjoying crocheting these squares. They're just super fast, and I was able to do 2 little squares in the 20 minutes I had to spare for crocheting. So these are in my super yay pile, and they will be a cushion. Yes, probably a small cushion, but these will be turned into a cushion. So the front, my plan is to just have the front of the cushion be made with these joined granny squares, and then the back of the cushion just be one big solid granny square. And I want to make it more of a pillow cover because I would like to put a zipper on it to remove the wool so you'll be able to hand wash it. Because hand washing an entire pillow, dipping it into the water and taking it out, I'm not sure how much that fun that will be. So yay, thank you to Catherine for this lovely yarn. And what else have I got to show you? I think it's time. Isn't it just, oh, it makes me so happy. I think it's time that I talk to you about snail knitting. And this week, snail knitting has been really snail knitting. Like, yes, progress minimal. But in the last podcast episode, I showed you that I had cast on the Rose City Rollers socks in the colorway that I am not even going to bother trying to spell, but it's opal. This is the colorway. This had been my Doom Bloom socks, which got frogged, obviously, and now they're being turned into Rose City Rollers. This will be a Christmas gift. As part of my gift of giving Christmas KAL, these will be a Christmas gift. And I was slightly concerned making these because they look huge. I don't know if it's that they look huge in comparison to the Doom Bloom socks that I was knitting, because those looked super tight. But I measured my gauge, as I said, and with 2.75 my knitting needles, my gauge was just about right. I measured my mom's foot. She already knows these are for her, so it's no big surprise there. Sorry. And this, you know, it's just all the math indicates that it should fit, but just looking at it, I'm scared that it won't. So last time I hadn't finished my heel flap. This time I finished my heel flap, did my heel turn, and I'm currently doing my gusset decreases. And are socks supposed to be this big? I'm really scared that when I finish making this, it'll be way too big and I'm just gonna have to frog it. But it's all in the learning experience, right? The one thing that drives me crazy about this sock, and it was my mistake, because I think I didn't pick up the extra stitch in the gusset that I thought I had picked up, is this one. Can you see that hole there? It drives me crazy. Every time I see it, I just feel like frogging the whole sock and remaking it. But what I decided I was going to do is, after I finish knitting the sock, I'm just going to sew it closed with the same purpley yarn. I'm just going to sew it closed. I'm really enjoying knitting on these. I do not find them as horrible as when I was using 2.25 knitting needles. I think my issue was the needle, that it felt so tiny in my hand that I didn't feel secure when I was knitting on them. But I'm quite happy, barring my nervousness and fear that they will be too huge. But I'm really liking how they're turning out, and I really enjoy these 2.75 wooden DPNs. These are just, I dropped the DPN, but these are just a pack of wooden DPNs that I got from Amazon for $6, and it brought 15 sizes. And I was just starting out, and they've been pretty good. I'm really liking these. Honestly, I'm liking them more than a Chiagu needle I bought. I bought a wooden Chiagu needle. I think it's the bamboo dark patina, size 7, 4.5 millimeters, to make a bankhead hat, which I haven't started yet, but I do want to start a bankhead. And my mom started knitting a KAL using those needles, and she asked for help on a stitch. And when I was using them, I was like, well, Mom, no wonder you're having issues knitting in them. They're just really blunt. Like, look at these. They've got a nice sharp little edge, so that, and then they get blunt. But those Chiagus, I feel that they're just blunt, and I didn't like using them. I'm surprised she hasn't just thrown it overboard. But, you know, when you compare that Chiagus are a bit pricier than these ones, and I'm liking the cheaper ones better, I'm not sure. I did buy another set of 4.5 millimeter circular knitting needles This week they should be getting here sometime. And those were clover, takumi, bamboo. So I hope those are better. We shall see. I will be telling you about that. And mentioning, since I'm already talking about knitting, my future knitting project will be this. This is Little Bee Love's hand-painted yarn in her Elder Tree colorway, and it's in her Luxe Decay base. So it's, again, 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. And it is gorgeous. I put a picture of these up on Instagram during the week, and I find that it's, I wouldn't say a masculine colorway, because, you know, men and women can like the same colors. I would say it's more of a gender neutral colorway. That's a good name. Gender neutral colorway, because I love it and I would totally wear a pair of socks in this. So this is what this yarn will be. This yarn will be another pair of blueberry waffle socks for Christmas for my brother. And I can totally say it because my brother doesn't watch my podcast, so it's fine. But yeah, this little cake of love will be socks. I think that is all the crochet and knitting that I have for you this week. This was a very short episode because of my lack of time to crochet. For next podcast, I will hopefully have started more of my projects, because it's a 3-day weekend for us. It's what we call here El Día de la Raza. Some people call it Columbus Day. You know, it's usually the second Monday of October, and it sometimes falls on October the 12th, but this week we're gonna celebrate it the 10th of October, which is a Monday. So hopefully I will have lots of time to split between, you know, cleaning, working on my speech for the symposium, and I'll be able to sneak in lots of crochet around that. Because my plan for this weekend was that since it is a 3-day weekend, after I film the podcast, I want to start at least 3 projects and have those on the go already, so that even if I can't really crochet a lot, they will be started and there'll be some progress on the lovely Christmas gift idea. Why? Because I've got a lot of things that I want to make for people for Christmas. Like, seriously, I go on Ravelry or on the Crochet Girl Gang Instagram, or just around Instagram. I'm like, oh, I want to make that. I want to make that. Oh, this so-and-so would love that. And this so-and-so other person would love that. And along those lines is how I figured out what I want to make my dad for Christmas. I wanted to make my dad something handmade, but he is not going to wear woolen socks. No way, Jose. Just no way, no how. He is very prone to just going like, oh, it's so hot. And it is hot in Puerto Rico. Like, we wouldn't really have a need for wool, but I still wanted to make him something handmade. And so the Crochet Girl Gang, or was it Simply Crochet magazine? It's in Simply Crochet magazine. They put up a picture of this Volkswagen van pillow. And I saw it, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, that is what I'm making my dad for Christmas. Why? Because when I was little, we had 2 Volkswagen vans from the 1960s something, and we had a buggy, a Volkswagen buggy. Like, what's the name of that movie that has a Volkswagen that has emotions? Herbie. It's so it was like Herbie, except it was an orange, bright orange car. And I used to love those cars. So, and my dad did too. When I saw it, I went on Ravelry and I was looking for a pattern, and I saw the perfect one. So if I have time, I'll make him 2 pillows, one with the van and one with the buggy. But the buggy one has to go first. It was a paid for pattern on Ravelry. I'm gonna look up the name and of the pillow pattern and the designer because I do not remember. Sorry, I keep looking the wrong way. I do not remember either one of those. But it was a pillow, a 3-dimensional buggy pillow. So it was basically this shape and it was in a wine colored, but obviously mine's gonna be orange because my dad's buggy was orange. And I don't know, it's just so perfect, and I'm really excited about getting that one started. But the one downside to this project is that I cannot work on it from stash because I do not have any orange yarn. I used it all up, so I will have to go hunting for the perfect orange shade. So that is future projects, what will be in the making. So it will be the buggy pillow, the Yelm shawl, socks, bankhead, cap, socks. So yeah, a lot of people are going to be receiving socks this Christmas. There's nothing wrong with that. They're handmade socks. I think that's amazing. So yeah, I think we've reached the end of this kind of yarny ramble. Thank you once again to everybody who's subscribed already. If you liked this video or any of my previous videos, then please hit the subscribe button to find out more of what I am up to. I am sending you guys a lot, pero mucho amor. I'm sending you a lot of love this week, and every other week that you need an extra dose of love, I am sending it to you because I am really grateful with the amount of positive feedback I've been getting from you guys. Don't forget to join the Ravelry group. When this video goes up on Monday, I will have already created the Ravelry thread for the 100+ subscribers giveaway. And don't forget to join the KAL if that is something that interests you. Oh, and in the Ravelry group is where you will find all the show notes for this week's podcast and the previous week's podcasts. And in the show notes, you will also be finding the recipe that I usually put at the beginning of the video, because I realize what fun is sharing a recipe with you guys if I don't actually give you the recipe. Yeah, I was kind of mind blown there. So yeah, that's it for me this week. I hope you guys have a very happy crafting week and just, you know, enjoy yourselves. Just try and have fun, guys. Bye!